I'm wiped out. That's a good thing. All right, let's see if y'all can see me, hear me, smell me, feel me, taste me, whatever. We'll get there. All right. See if my computer comes up. And okay, so here comes my computer. Jacob, Rep Rebel, 5x5, Robert Bates, Smart Carrie. Okay, you guys being smart asses here. There we go. Forgot about that part. Okay. All right, bunch of you guys can see me. Happy Saturday, guys. All right, so we made it through another first day of the weekend. Uh, I wore out Mrs. P today, and tomorrow's Orthodox Easter. Uh, but yes, so it was a good day for us. We just trust me, if there's anything that happened in the world today, I don't know it. Mrs. P and I planted 200 row feet of potatoes, 150 row feet of beets, 50 cabbages, all by hand. Okay, no machinery, nothing like this. This was blisters. So yeah, it was a good day. Uh, and actually, I got one of my carrot boxes completely planted today, and I was so damn tired. I was like, okay, I cannot dig down 2 feet again for 32 more carrots. So I'll do those tomorrow if it doesn't rain. If it does, Monday. But like I said, hard work gets results, and that's it. It's like I was telling Mrs. P when I went upstairs to take a shower a bit ago. I said, yeah. I said, okay, so here's my plan for the week. I said, I got to finish the deck. We have finished the front porch. I've just got to do some detail work, some caulk, stuff like that. Okay. Looks gorgeous. So very happy with that. Only took 8 months to get all the stone done and everything like that. But got to clean the pond, got to clean the garage, got to plant the rest of the carrots, got to fix a couple of my Adirondack chairs, and whatever else winds up on the honeydew list for the week. God knows there'll always be something. Got to plant cucumbers next week too, at least start seeds. Uh, yeah, so yeah, keep getting it done, keep working and everything like that. It's good for the soul. All right, when you can do it when you finish a hard day's work, and a lot of you guys will agree with me on this one. You look back at the day and go, I got a lot accomplished today. I'm happy. And that's it, you know. And, it's when you sit down at the end of the day and you're going, it's 9 o'clock at night and I didn't do shit today. You go, where'd the day go? So, so yeah, that was about it. As like I said, for what happened in the world, I have no idea. I noticed a few of you guys in here saying that Jason, Angry Prepper, was on Fox News last night. I looked on, I saw it about 5 minutes before the live stream. I looked on his channel. I didn't see anything there. I want to see that. Because I didn't hear from Jason today. I'm surprised because I know what was it about a week ago. He said he was in L.A. and he couldn't tell everybody. He was down in Mississippi, and they flew him to L.A., which surprised me because Tucker's in New York. So, and somebody said he was on Tucker Carlson, but Tucker's in New York, and so somebody said he was on Fox News. So, if anybody has the link to it being online or whatever it is, please send it to me because I would love to see it. Because Jason is still the godfather of all preppers. We know that. I don't care who else is out there or whatever. Jason's the real. Jason's the one that the rest of us hold up. The rest of us are held up to his standard. Okay, that's period. That's it. So if anybody has a link to that, please email it to me, and I would greatly appreciate it. So yes, that was it. Good day. I'm when I can come in at the end of the day and go, I'm wiped out, and I got a lot done today. I'm happy. Okay, that's just the way it is. So, hoping I'm going to ask everybody this. I'd really like, for once, to to keep the live stream a little lower key tonight. I just I really don't want to get into. I'm just not here for getting into all the political world ending stuff. I'd rather talk a little bit about more fun stuff. Again, my request. It's up to you, and I'm not going to pass by anybody's question if somebody says, "What do you think about?" But if it happened in the news today, I'm telling you, I don't know. I haven't even opened up a website today. Mrs. P and I got started about oh, 8 o'clock this morning. Was 7:45 this morning was the beginning of the day, and coming in the house was about an hour and a half ago. So that was about it. So, all right, let's get into Q&A. And for those of you guys that are new here, I will kind of go over the rules here real quick. Always do every live stream, just so everybody knows, because the channel keeps growing, and I appreciate more people coming in, and I'm glad that more people are finally waking up and saying, hey, you know what? Maybe I'm going to go learn a thing or two. Maybe I'm going to go have a little bit of fun tonight, too. I hope to God you guys have some fun in these live streams, because that's the point of it. Learn something and kind of chill out for an hour and say, all right, camaraderie and everything, fellowship, family, that's it. So if you guys have a question for me, please put it in all caps. It just makes it a lot easier for me to go through the chat and find all the questions, okay? I absolutely encourage you guys to chat amongst yourselves. Just please keep it in lowercase. That way I can skip over it a little easier. Because I don't have all the answers. Keep an eye on the chat, guys, because I may not have the answer. I may not get to your question, but somebody else in here inevitably does. So, just giving you that as a tip. The only rule I do have, please keep it civil, guys. If you want to be an ass, go somewhere else. All right. It's funny that people think they can come into live streams and be rude. I've got some of the best moderators. I mean, the gang that's here doing the moderation for us, I mean, they've been with me for, I think every one of them has been here for at least a year and most over 2. So, they know what they're doing. But I want to give you just a couple of funny ones on that before we get started here. This was very, I got 2 good ones to give you a laugh to start the day, okay? One of y'all sent me an email today. And I just want to read this to you because it's just too funny. It says, hey, Pinball, I just wanted to give you a holler and let you know that you're not the only one with trolls or brilliant followers who know everything. I'm an author. Many of my friends are authors. A good friend of mine just received a book review on Amazon. I won't post her name. You see, I'm not a troll. We both write fiction. Yep, made that one loud because you'll see. The review, quote, I started and got to about the 5th chapter, and all I can say is the author is just making this up as she goes along. Dumbass, that's what fiction is. I'm just like, you gotta be kidding me. Okay. So that was the first good laugh on an email I got today. This was the second one. If y'all know what next door is, okay, and I'm next door for Sharps Chapel, pay attention to what's going on in my town. Important, okay. This was a post on Nextdoor that came in about lunchtime today. Missing a couple of pigs, a black one and a pinkish one around our property. Not lost dog, not lost cat. Anybody missing some pigs? Only if you live in the country. That's it. Okay. So, yes. Okay. I just wanted to say. All right. So let's get into Q&A. Mandy, thank you for the super sticker. I do appreciate that. That'll go straight into the Christmas fund and the Christmas giveaway fund, and we will have fun with that come Christmas time. So, yes. If y'all haven't been here for a while, Christmas, between Thanksgiving and Christmas on this channel is an absolute ball. So between giveaways and food drives and toy drives and all sorts of stuff. So we have a good time. All right, let me get to the top here, and we will get into some questions. All right. Good evening. Flint McRock, first time growing giant Marconi peppers. I do grow Marconis. Do I leave yours? I don't know what OTE is. Uh, I, I don't know what you're asking there. I'm sorry. Let's see. Emmanuel Bravo. Oh, my garden. What a big vegetable garden day. Love it. Love it. Show us pics when you're done. Oh, you guys will get garden tours throughout the year. Don't worry. When we get that, you know, seeing me plant, you know, cabbages. Okay. Gee, I dug a hole. I put it in the ground. I think you guys got that part. I don't have to show you that. Okay. I try not to insult your intelligence. I know there's plenty of channels that will. Okay. This is how you dig a hole. No. Not doing that. Kathleen Maddox, hey Pinball, with all that he does pre-live, can you make Joel an honorary mod? There's no such thing as an honorary mod, so no, yeah, Joel and the trivia, I love it because every once in a while I'll pop in real quick. It's like, okay, here's a question, I'll throw an answer out at it. So yes. K-Rec, Tucker is in California for a special. Okay, but I don't know if like I said, if Jason was on Tucker, I want to see this. Okay, because that would be like Tucker's going to interview Elon Musk next week, which that's must-see TV. But Tucker interviewing Jason is I gotta see that. I mean, for the one thing is Tucker's going to be on television, or I'm sorry, Jason's going to be on television, so he's got to clean up his language. Either that or the editors are going to go nuts. You'll be like, this is a 15-minute interview. It's now down to 2 minutes. No, y'all know I love Jason to death. Jason and I are good friends. We've never met each other, and I mean, I can call him, he can call me, and we'll be on the phone for an hour. Texas SAS. Okay, good FYI there. Next weekend is sales tax holiday for emergency supplies in Texas. Okay, so for all you guys in Texas, anything that you can claim as an emergency supply, you know, the store will listen to you. Go for it. You know, don't think you're going to go, but this flat of green beans is an emergency supply. Maybe you can convince a store manager it is, but okay. Nanny D, what is my favorite classic book? Probably Huckleberry Finn. That that was I had to read that. I had to read that one when I was a junior in high school, and it was probably my favorite. It probably still is my favorite book of all time. Uh, I can tell you ones I hate. Grapes of Wrath was good. Don't get me wrong. Could not stand reading Billy Budd. I mean, that was the longest 99 pages ever in my life. I will never forget that book because I'd literally fall asleep after reading 2 pages. Me and Herman Melville did that. Uh, yeah, if I had to pick one, I'd say Huckleberry Finn. Marge says, I'm listening to 1 second after. Okay. Uh, that's of the trilogy, which is soon to be a quadrilogy, whatever it is. I guess there's 5 years after is coming out later this summer. The first book is the best of the three, uh, but I'm a firm believer that that is a must read for anybody that even is considering prepping. Okay, It should be a must read in high school, in my opinion, because if everybody read that book, I mean, I've never met anybody that read that book that hasn't gone, that's all bullshit. They're like, I mean, because the book is so well written and the characters are so relatable. I mean, okay, granted, most of us aren't, a Colonel John Masterson, but you look at, gee, the kids are now the militia, you know, somebody was stealing drugs. There is no food. Oh my God, somebody got a bear. We're going to eat bear meat. Yeah. And you realize that can really happen really quick. Up north, are our silver purchases being tracked or can they be tracked? Well, okay. Depends on what you want to talk about being tracked. If you're buying it online, which I do, okay, full disclosure, okay, yes, you got to pay with a debit card or a credit card or an e-check, okay. Personally, I use the e-check because I don't want to pay the extra premiums for putting out, credit card or a debit card. Yeah, those records, the bank has those records, whatever. I mean, if you walk into a coin dealer and pay cash, that's about the only way there isn't too much of a record for it, depending on where you go, because a lot of the coin dealers will ask for your ID, fill out your name, address, and phone number off your ID. So somehow it's being tracked. Tracked as for capital gains or something like that? No. Okay. Is there a record that you bought it? Yes. And that's just good business by the coin dealer or whatever it would be. Okay. I know we can get into the complete conspiracy theories on it. That's not what I do on this channel. Okay. Uh, if people want to follow conspiracy theories, go somewhere else. I have a tendency to deal in reality here. There you go. Dan, I will never take the easy way out again. F that Vigoro potting mix. Poison. Yeah, and you paid 10 times what you could make it yourself for. I mean, there's a video in the gardening playlist on how to make your own that's, 1/10 of the cost and better. So, yes, don't take the easy way out. Sorry, no. Booney June, I agree. I try to ignore the news on the weekend to give my brain a rest. I I won't necessarily on the weekend, but there's not as much that happens in the news on the weekend. But I have the ability to talk to more people on the weekend because they're not at their job. I mean, and so I get a chance for that interaction. And then, the weather today was absolutely, I mean, you couldn't ask for a more beautiful day to be outside today. I mean, I didn't want to be inside. And so I wasn't. That's it, It's like, I love this time of year. It's the busiest time of year because all the planting that's got to go on. But, here it was probably 70 today, maybe a little clouds, little cloud cover and everything. But it was in the light breeze. It was absolutely gorgeous. You weren't sweating bullets out doing whatever, it was comfortable to be outside. Terry Palazzolo, I'm sorry. Can water from a sump pump be used in the garden? Mine continues to pump water every three to 5 minutes. Yeah, absolutely. Gray water is fine in a garden. You know, you figure what a sump pump is. All it's doing is it's the groundwater that's running down a hill or whatever that's pooling up around your basement. That it's just keeping the water from coming. So it's groundwater as is. I mean, you're not even worried about dish soap or anything like that. I mean, you can go take a bath upstairs and, if you want to, take 5-gallon buckets of water and use it. You can wash the dishes and use that water. Yeah, it's fine. Okay, if if of course if the water is full of chicken fat, no, you don't want to use it. But sump pump water, perfectly fine. Take the stuff out of your washing machine and use it. Perfectly fine. Gizmo, can we send a donation via Cash App for Christmas 2023 now? Sure. Like I said, it just all goes. I just keep a ledger with it, whatever it is, and that's what I use at the end of the year to come up with creative trivia questions. It's going to be harder and harder this year because you guys know more and more about me. But we'll figure. I'll figure out some creative way to have a contest this year. Buzzard Prepper, thanks for all you do, my friend. I think it's about time for another cooking vid, maybe with the Mrs. P recipe. Okay. Mrs. P and I talked about this the other day, and she's talking about making a kroshka, which is the soup that I've talked. It's a summer soup, which I've talked about many times. And I told her, I said, yes. I said, but we have to make a video. I said, it's been about a year since we've made a cooking video. And that's a very excellent Russian summer recipe that if you guys, almost everything comes out of your garden, okay? And it is like the most refreshing thing you can have for like a lunch or a dinner or whatever. I'm just giving you that. Go look up a kroshka if you want to know what it is. But yeah, we'll probably have that within the next couple of weeks. HJS video. What was the last concert that I went to? Oh my God. I gotta think because it's been a while. Nothing there. Nothing in Chicago. Nothing in Indiana. This is you want to talk about having to go back. Seriously, this is the last concert when I was in the Army in El Paso. Okay, so that figure I was in El Paso from 85 to 87. That's the last concert I went to. One of the guys in my platoon, and this is the funniest part about it. Okay, we had one black guy in our platoon, and he won, I think it was 8 tickets to AC/DC floor seats through the radio. So he took basically most of us in the platoon. And so we all went. At the time, I had, God, I can't even remember what it was. I had a station wagon, okay? So we were all able to get in one car, go down. I mean, mind you, guys, you got to remember, okay, this is 1987 in the Army. I mean, we were making like $700 a month, okay? We all got into one car, went down there, but I think it was probably 1986. So then Fly on the Wall tour. I think that was the last concert I went to. I mean, because I remember being in high school, being able to buy concert tickets for $17.50. Okay, to go see Ozzy, to go see Aerosmith, to go see Queen, whatever. I mean, now they want what, $800 for nosebleed seats? Oh, sorry, not happening. Hillbilly, howdy pinball. Do I have a good way to get rid of pill bugs? I don't get rid of them. I mean, they're fine. I mean, unless you've got a ton of them. I mean, when I was out in the garden today, I ran across a few of them that, because we use the weed barrier, and I roll that up and keep it over the winter. So when I unrolled it when we were planting the cabbage today, yeah, there were some ants on there, and there's some pill bugs or whatever from where it was rolled and stuff like that. And just, okay, fine, throw it in the garden. If you've got a ton of them, then obviously you probably, but I don't have it bad, so I've never really worried about it. Paladin 1, there's a question. What baby names will you suggest when you become a grandpa? I, no, I'm not suggesting anything. Okay. That would be between my daughter and the father, her hopefully husband, if that ever happens. Though she's already said she really doesn't want to have kids. Uh, but yes, I mean, on my side, the family name dies with me because all I have is the one daughter. Okay, I think my brother's got two boys, so but that'll go. Judy, who gold and silver going up and down? Thoughts? Excuse me. Volatility. You have a lot of worry in the market right now. The thing that's driving everything right now, the equity market, the gold market, whatever, is worry and greed. Okay. And they have a tendency to bounce off of each other. People get greedy. Hey, the stock's down. I can go buy into it. So they sell out their gold and go buy into the stock. Oh my God, the stock market's going down. I got to sell out of my stock and buy into the gold. I mean, that's we don't know what's going on with this recession. I mean, you heard the Fed saying maybe one more rate hike, and then you have Larry Fink, BlackRock, coming out and saying, "Oh yeah, at least three more." So the uncertainty is what's driving gold right now. Everybody's is completely reactionary. It's, oh my God, this person said this, we got to go buy gold. Oh my God, this person said we got to get out of our gold. And the underlying thing to pay attention to is the countries that are going back to gold. I mean, you look at Zimbabwe, for example, okay, and they went back on the gold standard, and the IMF said, "Oh, you don't want to do that. That's going to drive inflation even higher." And Zimbabwe said, "Bite me," and watched inflation go down. You know, this is the thing. If if the monetary system is run by the people, it's run responsibly. If it's run by the elites, it's run for their interest only. And that's what people are trying to juggle right now. Holly H, can I drink water straight from my dehumidifier, or do I have to filter it first? Absolutely filter it first, okay? Because the dehumidifier is pulling everything else, that's dissolved in the air out of it too, smoke or whatever. Definitely filter it. Mark Brimmer, getting fabric for my garden. Wondered what I use. Let me see if I can. It take me a second here. I mean, I bought it on Amazon. I believe it's 6 mil fabric. Let me look. Let's see if I can find it. I'll tell you exactly what it is. But I'm very happy with what I bought. Nope, that's not it. I'm trying to do a search, so I don't have to. There it is. I bought the Happy Buy 6.5 foot by 330 foot premium weed barrier fabric. Heavy duty 3-ounce woven weed control fabric. So look for Happy Buy weed barrier fabric and you'll find it. That's what I bought. And the stuff is out there. This will be second year of it. I mean, none of it is any problems. I'm using it again this year, no problem. So I'm very happy with it. Mike Luce was able to plant 8 apple trees and 6 peach trees today. Nice. Okay. As the old saying goes, best time to plant a tree was 10 years ago. The second best time planted is today. So, are you going to get apples this year? No. Okay. You're going to get them next year? No. Okay. Are you going to get them 3 years from now? Yes. Okay. Are you going to need to eat 3 years from now? Yes. That's it. Okay. It's prepping. You're putting that tree in. I mean, unless you went and bought, which I seriously doubt, a 20-foot apple tree or, pear tree, spent $1,000 on the tree. You probably went to the store and spent, $50, on the tree, and it's 6 feet high and it'll grow. And I've got the same. And, they're there. I've got trees in that have been in for 3 years, 2 years, and 1 year. And get a couple of peaches last year or 2 years ago. We got nothing last year because we lost it out of freeze. This year we were out looking. Okay, there's a few dozen peaches on there. Okay, that's more. Anything I get is a good thing. That's the way I look at it. You gotta run before you gotta walk before you can run. Okay, same with anything else. Ann Ramataria, have I ever grown microgreens? They're easy to grow. I'm 6'8", 300 pounds. Okay, no. When I need to eat a meal, I need more than, gee, here's your little handful of bean sprouts or pea shoots. No. Yeah, they are easy to grow, and I get, but if if that's the space you're limited to, I'm all for it. I'm not limited to that space, so I'm not going to worry about growing pea shoots or whatever. JMS, what are the top 3 things, actions you'd get or take? Okay, there's way too many variables in this. Top 3 things or actions I get or take in an SHTF scenario. Food, water, and ammunition. I guess those would be what I mean. Assuming you've got shelter taken care of, food, water, and ammunition. That's what I want. All right, let's see. Definitely pea. What do I think of hazelnut trees? Go for it. Anything that you can get that's going to provide some sort of food, go for it. Acorns, walnuts, hazelnuts, pecans, whatever you want. I know somebody call them pecans. Okay, they're peonies, not peonies. There's a certain person who knows exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah. All right. Fastball 2611, short question. Do I believe that Jack Teixeira, the Intel leaker, worked alone? Obviously, you didn't watch my video. No, because there's no way an E2 is doing this. I'm sorry, this goes way up the chain. I talked about this yesterday and explained it out. Crystal clear as far as I know. Michael Lideker, my dad loves when you say Potato Joe. Give Johnny a shout out. I got him subscribed. Hello, Johnny. All right. Sunshine 67. Have I ever overwintered plants like peppers? Did I get good results if you did? I know you can overwinter peppers. I have never done it because I don't have any problem growing them again. And yeah, you can. I've never done it. I've seen many people that have. You cut the pepper back all the way to the point where it's basically this big again, and you let it grow. Okay. Now, by the time you're planting your pepper plant that you overwintered, it's this big. I've got my seedling that's this big. Okay. I just don't have to baby it all winter. So, can it be done? Absolutely. Do I see a reason to? Not really. You think about it. The seeds in one green pepper will give you what, 500 plants. It's not like you're going, oh my God, how much money am I saving? Original Osa, Pinball, what's my preference for primary home protection? Handgun, shotgun, or carbine? Yes. All of the above, okay? Because every situation is different. Am I sitting on my couch and it's 6 o'clock at night and somebody tries to break in my window? I got a pistol right next to me, no problem. Okay. Am I in bed in the middle of the night and now it's dark and I'm taken away? Trying to gather my thoughts or whatever. I got a pistol that's going to get me to a shotgun. All right, that's it. Depending on the size of your house. In the size of my house, my AR, it probably is not going to be my go-to choice for a weapon for home defense in my house. If it's middle of the night, I want my shotgun. Okay. If it's middle of the day where I can see everything, I want my pistol because it's right there with me. Again, you know, I've said it a million times. There is no one size fits all to prepping. There's no one size fits all to weapons. You know, you're not, unlike what Joe thinks, okay, you're not going hunting with an AR-15, okay? You know, you're probably using a 30-30 or a 308 or whatever it was, you know, because of the distance at which you're going to hunt, all right? In the distance, I don't need an AR-15 to protect my house that's all of 40 feet wide. You know, if I can't hit a target from one side of my house to the other with a pistol, you know, at 40 feet, I need a hell of a lot more training. Let's put it that way. You know. Donna D, how do I can my potatoes for frying? Uh, I mean, real simple. I mean, last year I took all my potatoes. I sat at the kitchen table for a couple hours. I peeled up countless potatoes. I mean, the nice part about it, you can't even, you know, your golf ball sized potatoes are still good. I'd slice them into pieces, you know, slices maybe quarter-inch thick or whatever it is. Put them in my mason jars with a little bit of water, a little bit of salt, pressure canned them, and they go on the shelf. We need them out. We drain the water. Mrs. Pete throws some oil in a pan, maybe some bacon, maybe not, whatever it is, and fry them up. And there we go. I mean, water and salt. That's it. Mike Luce, my property that I bought in Arkansas has pecan trees. Do I need to do anything special for them? The person that you need to ask that one is to Danny and Wanda at Deep South Homestead. Okay, Danny is like a pecan aficionado, and they just, the property that they bought, oh, I guess 4 or 5 months ago at this point, Pecan Grove. Okay, if there's anybody that knows about pecans, it's Danny. Okay, I'm not going to be the one to answer a question like that, but go check out Deep South Homestead and ask that question to them. There's where you're going to get the right answer. Ed, thank you for the super chat. What is the type and caliber of the old lever action I see I see on the wall? I mean, there's a couple of them up there. Those are not those are replicas. Those are not real weapons, but they are your old 1800s ish. I mean, the one that's up there has JW on it for John Wayne because it was a replica of one of the rifles he used in one of the movies and stuff like that. Those are not real. They're just there for decoration. So there is no caliber or anything like that. But I mean, you'd never know because I mean, you can rack it the whole 9 yards, and you know you think, but they are non-fireable. So, but they are there strictly for the ambiance in the house. I've had those for years. Let's see. Augustine Ain't. How do I get, thank you for the super chat, by the way. How do you get rid of leaf-footed stink bugs? If you have an answer, please let me know. Because okay, give you a little story. Stink bugs didn't exist in the United States until about 10 years ago. All right. Brought over from, what else? China, another great import we got from the Chinese. Okay. And stink bugs went prolific. We have stink bugs terribly here in Tennessee. The deal with stink bugs, and you know, they're called stink bugs. If you ever smash one and you smell it, you'll know why they're called the stink bug. The problem we have down here, and I'm betting you do too, is stink bugs like to overwinter in a house, okay? You know, in between the outside and the inside wall. And then springtime comes up and they warm up and they're like, okay, now they want to get back outside, and some of them go back out, some of them go the wrong way and wind up in the middle of your house. And, you know, so you went, the only way I can get rid of them in the house, the only way I would suggest is get your vacuum cleaner out because they're very slow, okay? And when they're sitting on the window, just suck them into the vacuum cleaner and then go dump the vacuum cleaner back out. Getting rid of them, forget it. Don't even bother trying. Just deal with them, vacuum them up, live, right off the window, right off the. I can't tell you how many times I've gone over the vacuum cleaner, up and down my curtains. It's like, oh, there's a stink bug, zap, 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 you know, and that's the only way to get rid of them. Okay, and we're gonna shoot to the bottom, so I gotta go back to the top. Michael Luce, Mrs. P's cooking videos are so fun. Guys, I changed up the home page so it made it a little easier for you guys. If you go to the home page of the channel, so I mean, literally, if right here, if you, underneath where it says surprise free play 114, if you just click on where it says pinball preparedness, that'll take you to the home page. And I've now got it on the home page where the playlists are right there. If you scroll down and say videos, popular videos, playlists, and friends of the family, I think that's the order it's in. And go right to the gardening videos or the DIY videos or the Mrs. P's cooking videos. You want to see Mrs. P, you want to hear Mrs. P, that's where you're going to find her. So. Let's see. Suen, trivia could be what and how much you planted in the garden, including flowers. Okay, usually, at least last year when I did the trivia, I tried to stick to something I had talked about or at least mentioned within the last couple of months. I'm not going to make, because there's always new people coming to the channel, and I'm not going to ask anybody to go, oh yeah, I mentioned this back in an April video. That's just, I don't want to do that. So I try to keep it within about 3 months. Julie Peaks, what is my favorite tomato? God knows I haven't tried all of them. Okay. One of y'all had sent me a couple of years ago Bartelli cherry tomatoes. Those are delicious. Okay. And we continue to grow those. That was a tip I got from one of y'all, and we grew she sent me 2 seeds. Okay. Because it's like $8 for 10 seeds or something like that. Which you go, okay, that's 80 cents a seed, but I get 500 cherry tomatoes off of it. It's worth it. This year we're not growing the black crim. I like the black crim tomatoes, but they're good fresh eating tomatoes, and I like the the Sukarni Podovchuks better, the beefsteaks I send a lot of you guys. I don't really have a favorite tomato. It depends on what I'm going to use it for. Most of our tomatoes, if we're not eating them fresh, which that's primarily the Siberian earlies that we like to eat fresh, go into my chili, go into making salsa, go into making spaghetti sauce, that sort of stuff like that. So we're not a paste tomato household. It's more of a sauce tomato. That's what we like. So, and the black crims aren't really conducive to making sauce or salsa or anything like that. Chalk Bluff Homesteader Pinball, late getting in here. Did I see the headline on the toxic train wreck on fire in Maine? I didn't pay attention to the news at all today whatsoever. So, no, I did not. Let's see. Janice Kirk, Mrs. P should start a YouTube channel teaching Russian for a side hustle in all her spare time, right? Yeah. Now we talked about her doing some translation work. This was when she just got here, and that was harder to find than you'd believe. But no, Mrs. P's got plenty to keep her busy running around here. She got to, somebody got to take care of me, and that's a full-time job. Farm Girl, I'm jealous you've seen AC/DC. I think I've seen AC/DC 4 times. And one time the time I was telling you about, 86 on the floor, 80, maybe it was 87. I was second row, I think, got up that close. So, yeah. Patricia Hobbs, Pinball, what plants like rabbit poop? Any plant that likes nitrogen, which is pretty much any plant that's green. Yeah, so yes, rabbit poop is great for the garden, period. Simpler Times says, I saw AC/DC in 88. There you go. DW, do I know a good way to get rid of moss? No. Yeah, I mean, chances are the best way you're going to have to get rid of it is with, I mean, non-chemical is probably with vinegar. Depending on where it is, you could also use salt. But if you've got moss, if you've got moss growing on the driveway, pour some salt on it. That'll kill it. Okay. Or pour some vinegar, either way. If it's growing in your garden, I wouldn't use salt for sure. And if you're using vinegar, you're going to have to dilute it too much to kill it. At that point, you're going to have to scrape it off and get rid of it that way. Mississippi Soldier 369, best gun for snakes and predators. Well, they could be one of the same, but most of the predators I'm worried about are two-legged, not four-legged. Yeah, again, I'm gonna say the same thing I say all the time. The best weapon to have is the one you are comfortable using. You can take somebody who's a crack shot with a pistol or a rifle or something like that and put a shotgun in their hand, and the first, I mean, just your standard shotgun, and God knows if they don't know how to cradle it on their shoulder, they're only taking one shot and they're never going to want to shoot a shotgun again. Okay. The best weapon to have is the one you're most comfortable with. Teresa Ellis, how to keep stray cats out of raised beds. Citrus peels did not work. Okay, I don't know. The citrus peels, that is a new one. I've never even heard of that attempt. How to keep cats out of your raised beds. Again, it's not a problem I've ever run into, so I don't have an answer. Sorry. Maybe somebody else does. P. Fletch 83. Gold and silver might be in flux, however, brass, copper, and lead are holding steady. There you go. Yeah, guys, if you've seen, the price of ammo has really come down lately to the point where you can get CCI 9mm for about a quarter a round. So, I mean, that's significantly down. If you are looking at getting some ammo, look now while you can, because I know I looked at Natchez. I looked at, oh God, I forget the name. Somebody else sent me one. So 1,000 rounds of CCI 9mm for like $221. 22 cents a round. That's a good price for 9mm. Let's see. Kathleen Maddox says Bob Seeger rocks. I went to high school in Michigan. You don't have to tell me. I mean, I saw Seeger a couple of times. It wasn't hard. North of the 52nd, when to put out tomato plants? Depending on what zone you're in. My tomatoes don't go out for another month. Okay. So if to use the same, my last frost date is April 30th. My tomatoes go out May 15th. So use that as a guideline, 15 days after your last frost date. What is the best shade cloth to use? I don't use them. Again, I'll refer back to Danny and Wanda again, because they've got two greenhouses. One they used black shade cloth, one they used white shade cloth. What percentage? I don't have a greenhouse, so it's not something I'm using. And then again, if you've seen my property here, I'm hunting more for the sun than I am for the shade because of the tree cover I have. Let's see. Oh, Saffron Bay If you could vacation anywhere, where would you choose to go? Where would Mrs. P choose to go? Both of us would love to go to see Australia. With everything that's going on in the Australian government, that's probably never going to happen because the Australian government has just. You think Biden's lost his mind? Australia's like, hold my beer. Uh, it's just insane. I mean, I would love to go see Sydney, Melbourne. I'd love to go see Western Australia, but I don't know if it's ever going to happen. I mean, that would be a trip of a lifetime. You know, uh, but it's one we've talked about. If when we say if we had a dream vacation, where would we go? And both of us agree, Australia. So, not that I ever see it happening. Do 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 do. Broken Dolly, what type of cherry trees did you get that grows in Tennessee? This was difficult, okay, because sweet cherries are usually north. Michigan is big for the cherries, right? Okay. You can get pie cherries, sour cherries down here in Tennessee, no problem. But trying to find sweet cherries, there is a tree. I found this. It's called a sweetheart. Okay, that's the it's not brand, but the, the name of the cherry tree. But look for sweetheart cherry, and there we planted it last year. We had one cherry on it, one. That was it. Okay, but it was a sweet. It was like a sweet black cherry. It was like a Bing cherry or something like that. But yeah, if you're looking at growing cherries down south, look for a sweetheart cherry. That is one that grows sweet cherries down south. Uh, Fortune cookie. What is yours and Mrs. P's favorite meal? When we want to splurge, I mean, there's, believe it or not, okay, there's an exceptionally good Mexican restaurant in Maynardville, Tennessee. We like going there. It's inexpensive and the food's really good. Uh, Mrs. P, take her to get a good hamburger. She's all over it. Okay. I think I asked her one time, she was like 17 before she ever had a hamburger. Okay. Because they weren't in Russia. Uh, but I'd say if we had to say, if I had, what's a treat to us is if we get a chance to go out for sushi. That's a treat for us. We might do that once a year. So, uh, Bass Ackwards girl, will sand from under an old pool work for carrot beds? You're asking the wrong person about growing carrots. I'm trying, okay? But yeah, the sand is going to be fine. I mean, whatever you want to use it for. It's not changing its composition just because it's set under a pool. If you're trying to grow carrots in, sand soil mix or whatever it is, that sand's fine. Let's see. Jason Hoff, here in Texas, we use an AR-15 for hunting hogs. Okay. Not what I'd call a hunting rifle, but you use what, again, if it's the thing you're most comfortable with, use it. Okay. Uh, and I mean, it works for me. If that's what you're most comfortable shooting, use it. Now if you tell me that you're most comfortable using a Modus and you want to use that for home protection, then we might have a problem. Okay, 50 cal down your stairs is not a good idea. But let's see. Huts John, have I ever grown tomatoes from a sucker? Okay. Pulled off an already. No, I've never tried it because I'm not trying to get two two plantings of tomatoes, and I'm not trying to overwinter my plants. I mean, I plant. I mean, give you this. We planted our potatoes today, and I've got about 50 extra seed potatoes. I can't. Everybody that I know around here either already has their seed potatoes or isn't planting potatoes. You know, so it's just I can't give them away. I mean, I always plant way more than I need in the way of seeds, and then I just give them away to anybody. It's like, don't worry about going to Walmart and spending $5 a plant. Somebody sent me a email tonight about Costco wanting $12 for a tomato plant. Like, you're high, okay? Like, I'm gonna have extra. Don't worry, I'll give you whatever I got. So, because I always plant extras because you never know what's going to germinate. I'm going to plant 2 weeks from now 60 green peppers. Okay, that's how many green pepper, just bell peppers that we're growing this year. I think I've got about 100. So give the other ones away because you don't know what your germination rate is going to be. So I always plant extras. It's freaking seeds. Okay, you know, I, like I said, one bell pepper, they're done. Let's see. Marge, what are my thoughts on the fire at the dairy in Texas? Is that the one where the 18,000 cows went? I really haven't paid a whole lot of attention to it. Uh, I, I, I know what happened, but I really don't have any thoughts because I don't know the details. I'm not gonna guess or bullshit you on it. Bear Creek Girl, I'll be through Knoxville Thursday or Friday. Would love my extra seed potatoes. The only problem is you're going to be over an hour away from me. So, uh, Devil Dog Prepper. I started my garden by seed for the first time. 260 plants sowed. Do I need heat mats? If you're tomatoes, peppers, eggplants, yes, depending on what the temperature, where you are. Okay. If you're growing down in Florida, no. If you're growing in Tennessee at this point, no. Okay. You're up in New England or up, the upper Midwest, yes. Okay. Because most of your nightshades don't germinate until the temperature's at least the soil temperature's at least 70 degrees. Okay. And if it's 52 degrees outside, your soil's not going to be 70. Let's see. Texas says we also hunt hogs out of helicopters here in Texas. Yeah, yeah, I know. I've seen many videos on that too. But you guys have a big time hog problem. Let's see. Just going through to see if there's anything I missed. Lots of comments. Pam Fury, have I looked at electroculture in the garden? We've talked about this numerous times in the last month or so. No, it, like I said, I've got T-posts in my garden for my trellises. If I'm practicing electroculture, great, but I'm not doing it on purpose. Anything else that I'm missing here? North of the 52nd, any luck growing cukes on a trellis? Oh, absolutely. It's the only way I'll grow them. I mean, last year, Mrs. P and I probably, we grew last year we grew Japanese cucumbers and then pickling cucumbers. We probably made 40 quarts of pickles last year. Uh, we're still eating pickles from last year. I mean, I'll grow them again this year, but this year we're going to do English cucumbers and more pickles because we eat a lot of pickles and a lot of peppers. Okay, it is 9:59. Let's see if there's anything at the bottom. Janet Forster, my tomato and cuke seeds are big seedings now. I'm assuming seedlings. Thank you for the seeds. You are most welcome. I'm glad. I love hearing you guys, all those seeds that we sent out last fall. I'm loving hearing that you guys are getting good germination out of them. So that's good. C. Ramsey, 1965. What all do I grow in straw bales? Sweet potatoes, and we are going, once we can rake up all this hay, not all of it, but some of this hay off the lawn in the backyard, we're going to make a box for it. We're going to grow mushrooms in it. And it is 10 o'clock, and that is it. I'm hoping somebody sent me the email for Jason's deal because I want to watch that. Guys, have a good evening. Enjoy your Sunday. Tomorrow's Orthodox Easter, so I'll be here in the morning, but that's probably it for the day. Have a good one. Pinball out.